Pull the pin, I explode. I'm unstoppable. You cannot ignore.
Don't blink. If you blink, welcome to the show.
You don't bleed the same, but I have the right to my own fame. To reach what you sow, you don't bleed the same, but I have the right to my own shame. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the show. Kids are doing well. Kids are having a wonderful day on this 16 May 2005. As you can see, it is raining outside. Womp womp. But there's also a couple of great things going on. Today we're reviewing some ice cream. But before we review some ice cream, let me pretend like we're having a nice little conversation. And when we're having this conversation, I'm going to be using this time where you actually think that this is part of the intro, right? This is part of the intro that shouldn't be an intro, but it's still an intro because we're doing something else, which is starting on the computer. Today we are tasting another Ben & Jerry. Why am I saying another? Because this is technically speaking my second Ben & Jerry of the day. Now a lot of people are going to say, dude, that's too many Ben & Jerry. What are you, my doctor? And if you are my doctor, hey, how's it going? It's been a while. I haven't seen you in, what was it, years? Family's doing well. Mr. I'm not gonna give you the name of my doctor. You could say my doctor name is Who, because you don't know who it is. But if you call my doctor Doctor Who, then you're not knowledgeable on one of the greatest series ever made, which is Doctor Who. See? I took so many days, so many minutes, so many hours to not find it. I didn't find it. Yo no sabes dónde es el video que yo quiero. And I don't know how to say look or see in Spanish. So we'll say it in French. Voir. People will not know better. You know what? We'll do Onish Pranks. The Tea Detroit Mexican Restaurant 5 million special, which is one of my favorite pranks. It is the Magnetopium of Onish Pranks. There you go, there you go, there you go, and there you go. Today we are tasting the one, the only churros ice cream. I want to do like a stupid, like a silly face. Why? Because I feel like it. Also, there's a beaver, so the fact that you see my teeth is kind of cool. So we're having some notification. People are loving the video. Thank you guys so much for the likes. You know we're doing better, which is great. We're doing Chur A for churros. Buttery cinnamon ice cream with buttery cinnamon ice cream. Yum. With churro pieces and crunchy cinnamon swirl. I don't think I've tasted it on this channel, but we did have this in the past, in the previous life. I was a doctor. I was a Doctor Who. Okay, so where is this obsession with Doctor Who? The girl I'm talking to, she loved that show. So I had to nerd out and pretend like I knew the Doctor, which I'd done on the Doctor. I was trying to get in their DM, to slid in their DM. I was expecting a discussion about Grey's Anatomy. Nope. Different kind of doctor. Universal doctor, you could say. Universal? Universe? No reaction. Great. So am I excited to taste this? Kinda. It is something that I wanted to taste. It is something that I didn't have for a while. Is it something that I remember being delicious? No. It is some content for you guys, yes. So I could eat. I was gonna say shit, but I won't eat shit. Even if I do it, I love you guys. I could eat a cow's tongue for y'all. But that's as far as I go. Beef eyeball, I would go. We just watched also Liver King documentary. So we're a bit freaked out about food right now. Na zdrowia. But the first thing I'm tasting is the ice cream. Now, Ben and Jerry, I'm sorry to think that you're lazy. I'm sorry to think that every single one of your vanilla ice cream is the same vanilla ice cream. However, a little bit of cinnamon in there, I had a little bit of je ne sais quoi. A little cinnamony tasty, or cinny tasty, or whatever the frig you want to call it. I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing much better. So this is what it looks like, right? We're gonna go for normal ice cream. Now, technically speaking, there's no normal ice cream in this one. You know what? Wasn't a big fan of it. Didn't think I was gonna be a fan of it. I absolutely love it. Now, people say you taste, you eat with your mouth, but you taste with your eyes. With this one, I want you guys to observe carefully because eating with the eyes here is actually quite simple. So we got cinnamon tour swirl, which is nice, but you can all see the dots. Now, if the swirl were black, it doesn't mean to be a color police, but that would be vanilla. It's because I can kind of see that there's a resemblance with the vanilla. I'm liking it. I'm not a huge cinnamon guy, but the milk and the cream, the heavy cream and the sweetness, actually, actually work quite well. That is really good. Now we're in a situation that's kind of fake. We also had another ice cream today, and the ice cream was chocolate chip cookie dough core. And I didn't like the ice cream. I like the cookie dough core, but I didn't like the ice cream. With this one, I'm liking the ice cream a lot. It's just so good. It's just so good. Now, it is so fucking good. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be okay, bro. It is phenomenal. It is delicious. Once again, the sweetness of the cinnamon would be too much, but with the harmony with the vanilla and the cream, actually works really well. She got a semi-sweet, semi-too sweet ice cream, and it's just sweet enough. Now, we do have a special case here. I'm going to show you once again with the flip camera. So everywhere that I go. So you can see here that we have the cinnamon swirl, but you can also see here that we have a delicious churros. Now, I don't know if I'm going to prefer, which one I'm going to prefer, but we're going to be tasting them individually. So the first one we have is the churros. Wow. Wow. You see, this shit doesn't have a back. So this is weird. Wow. So, if you ever had a churros, you'll be disappointed. A churros, the beauty of a churros is almost this waffle texture. It's almost this dough, this dough that you're having in. It's sweet, it's fried, so very. I lied. Don't forget about the what I just said. Think about a donut dough. A donut dough would be the perfect example. That is one and only example that is allowed here. So you would love that. You don't expect a donut. You expect a donut to be pastry, right? You want it to be like a puffy pastry. With this one, you do get a taste of the churros, and the taste of the churros is nice. However, with the milk and the cream, it is absorbed, and it became quite dense. It became in my mustache. It does become quite dense. However, I do really, really like it. Really, really nice. Also, check out the design. Very good. Okay, so this is cinnamon swirl. It's one I'm the most worried about. Mmm. Wow. Wow. Mmm. Mmm. It's so good. Mmm. 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 Wow. I don't even know what to say here. The cinnamon dough, the cinnamon swirl, it's so close to the churros in texture. And it's so sandy, grainy. And it's actually enjoyable. Mm. 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 Wow. Mm. Mm. This is unbelievable. Mm. I'm starting to get a cinnamon overdose. I'm getting a little bit of a cinnamon overdose. However, it's so good. So the cinnamon swirl, I was the most worried about because I don't like cinnamon that much. And that's not true. I like cinnamon in a apple pie. I like cinnamon in churros. I like it on a not a pancake, but a waffle. I would love that. Now, with a cinnamon swirl, why it's so good because it's so sandy. You almost think that there's pieces of churros inside. Now, why this works so well? Because traditionally, churros are ate with a sauce. It's either a chocolate sauce or a caramel sauce. So with these one, it really does feel like there's something akin. So you're getting kind of the full meal, or you're getting the full churros experience. Now, this is eliteness. This is elite. It is fucking elite. Mm. I'm mind blown right now. I usually talk a lot more than that, but this is, and I want you guys to please listen. This is, and I didn't think it's gonna be. I wasn't gonna think it's gonna be. I would have, if you told me that, I would have called you crazy. Not in a crazy in the sense of haha, crazy in the sense of whoa. It is, without a doubt, my favorite Ben & Jerry ice cream. Very quick recap. The ice cream is boring. fuck your vanilla. I had your vanilla dozen of time. Dozen a thousand of time. It's boring. It's something I know. Fuck that. However, the cinnamon enhance the experience. First of all, churros pieces. Churros pieces. You're getting the churros experience, but you're getting a more dense experience. You're getting the churros experience, but you're also getting a ice cream. It's filled with ice cream, which is really nice. Lastly, cinnamon swirl. Cinnamon swirl, super tasty, super sandy. Digital experience, a lot of fun. The only flaw I'm gonna give is, once again, I'm not the biggest cinnamon guy, so the only flaw I'm gonna give is I don't know if I would be eating 4 or 5 of these. There's a lot of Ben and Jerry I could eat 4 or 5, no problem. This one I don't think I could. However, easily my favorite. It is such a cool experience. It is so nice, and yeah, definitely gonna buy it again. Now, there is a little something. There is a little something I will have to take out Point from. To me, this would be perfect. I don't like to be that guy, but let's read it together. Okay? Now, this is for my French people. So if you're English people, I love you. Take it easy. Have a nice day. For my French people only. Okay? Let me show you. I want you guys to read it together. Churros for churros. Ice cream. Crème glacée à la cannelle. So I want you guys to pay close attention to this word. Cannelle. Avec morceaux de churros et tourbillon croquant de la cannelle. À la cannelle. So this is the right way. This is not the right way. So there is a little mistake. I don't really mind it, but it's just, guys, whoopsies. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Wow. Don't blink. Kiss your boy Yink. Welcome to the show. You guys are doing well. You guys are having a wonderful day. Again, we're restarting to make content on a daily basis. Today is the 16th, by the way. 16th of May, I usually say it. But I'm seeing this and I'm excited to make the video. I'm feeling great. Okay, we're feeling great for a specific reason, and that specific reason is churros, Ben and Jerry. So this morning, not yesterday, not last week, this morning we made a video on how the weather was affecting our good mood, right? Yesterday I felt really bad because it was super warm, really warm. People call it the heat wave. I think we have the heat wave expression too easy. It was hot, but it wasn't that hot. We missed a moon and we missed a sunrise. I felt bad. Today we had a nice day in the morning, and right now it's raining. It's raining, but not so much. Look at this. And during the rain, I wasn't, oh my god, I miss the good weather. So it's such a odd thing, because you can go out of it. You can go and pass a couple hours, a couple of days, a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks will affect you, right? But the nice weather, and I was talking about this morning how I didn't know if we were healing thanks to you guys or thanks to the nature corn. I was telling that nature corn was really helping, and people were really helping. But now, seeing this, I have to say, social is the way to heal, because with social, there's days you feel alone, you feel lonely, and you don't know who to talk to. If there's a day where there's no nice weather, you're like, okay, well, whatever. So yeah, so seeing this, and it's reassuring, because you do not want your mental health, because again, mental health, when it's great, is great. When it's not great, it's not great, right? Now, now what we're seeing right now, which is really good, is that, wow, just a realization, right? Just a realization. Like 2 weeks ago, I was taking antidepressant medication, and I was feeling good, and now I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling great today. I'm not saying that tomorrow I'm going to be feeling good. I'm not saying that after tomorrow I'm going to be feeling good. But right now I feel great, and I don't want to be reliant on talking to people or reliant on the temperature to feel good. and we're kind of seeing that this is not the case. So God bless, and God bless. Okay, next on the list. Another ad, Onish prank. Damn. You're making me you're making me feel less bad about downloading a video illegally. Allegedly, of course. Don't blink. Yes, you blink. Welcome to the show. Because I'm doing well, because I'm having a wonderful day on this 16 May 2025. I am freaking creaming my pants right now. We're about to be tasting something that I'm so in love with. We're about to be tasting, you know what? Sorry, blooper. This is a French product. We'll be doing this video in French. Salut, c'est ton chuming. J'espère que ça va bien. Je pense que c'est une belle journée en ce 16 mai 2025. C'est pluvieux dehors, mais il y a eu une vague de chaleur hier et aujourd'hui. La température, ça fait vraiment du bien. Aujourd'hui, je suis extrêmement content. Je suis en train de... d'avoir des émotions parce que je suis prêt à goûter un de mes produits préférés à vie. On est en train à déguster la Maison de Savoie qui existe depuis 1930. On a un sarment, un saucisson sec de porc. Ça, c'est mon produit préféré. C'est mon repas préféré. C'est sincèrement, là, c'est une des choses que j'ai mangées, que j'ai adoré le plus. C'est quoi l'histoire derrière ça? Je travaillais dans une boulangerie à Lachine, j'étais à Lachine. Le propriétaire était français, un Français de France. Puis lui, il jurait par ça. Puis il y en avait, puis je voyais le prix, puis c'est extrêmement cher. C'est très très cher ça, mais ça vaut la peine, c'est tellement bon. Puis là, qu'est-ce qui arrivait, c'est que le produit, il tombait... comment on appelle ça? Il était passé date. Fait qu'il nous donnait aux employés pour le manger. Tu sais, il disait, bon, mais il reste 2-3 jours. Là, de jeter, vous le mangez. Si vous voulez le manger, vous le mangez. Si vous ne le mangez pas, on va le jeter. Fait que check ça. Check ça, mon gars. Check ça. Aussi, qu'est-ce qui est vraiment important de comprendre? C'est que j'ai une famille qui est très très modeste. J'ai été élevé à la manière de tu manges, qu'est-ce qu'on te donne. L'important c'est pas si t'aimes ça, l'important c'est que tu manges. Tu comprends? Fait qu'un saucisson comme ça me ferait toujours plaisir. Juste l'odeur. Ça me rappelle tellement des bons souvenirs. Je me rappelle au Marie-Zéphanie, qui est le café que je travaillais. Je travaillais 5 jours semaine. Je travaillais 8 heures, je travaillais au minimum. Je m'en achetais un par jour. C'est assez à tel point que je l'aimais. Maintenant, je l'achète pas parce que c'est assez trop cher. J'ai fait des 4 cadeaux. Je l'ai acheté. Mais ça, sincèrement. Oh mon Dieu. Oh, l'odeur. Oh, l'odeur. Wow. J'espère que vous êtes prêts. On déguste. Wow. Encore. Maison de Savoie, le sarment. Wow. Wow. Mm. 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 Wow. Mm. Orgasme spirituel. Mm. Wow. Mm. Mm. Wow. Mm. Wow. Oh mon Dieu. À mes yeux, là, je sais pas être méchant. C'est qu'il y a des choses qui sont vieilles, c'est de l'artisanat, c'est des choses qui ont vieilli puis qui ont bien vieilli, tu sais. Je vais pas être méchant, mais je pense pas qu'il y aurait une boulangerie qui ferait ça présentement. Mais l'effort l'a mis là-dedans. La farine, des saucissons. Tu vois le métal. Ils prennent le métal puis ils l'accrochent au plafond. Ils font des chambres de fumée, de fumigation. Ça sent tellement bon, c'est tellement salé. C'est vraiment, mais vraiment salé, mais ça coûte un petit peu comme. C'est vraiment une saucisse de qualité, là. Tu sais, j'ai grandi en mangeant des saucisses hot dog, j'adore les saucisses hot dog. J'adore ça. Mais ça a une coche de plus, là. C'est artisanal, là. Tu vois qu'il y a un sentiment de bien-être, il y a un sentiment d'être confortable. Il y a un sentiment de pur plaisir avec ça. Wow. Je vais vous montrer en dedans. Morceau de gras séché. Wow. Mm. Wow. Mm. Wow. Wow. Mm. L'expertise qu'il y a là-dedans. Le fait que c'est naturel. Mm. Le gras se fond dans la bouche. Mm. Mm. Wow. Désolé parce que sinon. Mm. Viande, ingrédients, viande de porc, gras de porc, sel, sucre, poivre, muscade, nitrate potassium, culture enveloppé de collagène. Qu'est-ce qui me dérange de ça tellement, là? C'est que ça, là. Prends un pain, baguette qui sort du four, un peu de beurre, chaud fondu. C'est tout. Mais c'est cher. Mais c'est très cher. C'est très très cher. 150 grammes pour 7 $. Wow. Je capote. Je vous laisse manger ça, ça va me faire plaisir. Wow. Oh. Wow. Don't blink, it's your boy. Welcome to the show. Because I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. As you can see, very cloudy outside on this 16 May 25. We are eating primal sausage and some ice cream that's subprimal. We're of course talking about the a raw liver documentary that came out on Netflix this week, which is about the Liver King, which is a YouTuber named Brian Johnson. So I told you guys about my relationship with Brian. Now we're gonna go into the documentary and my original thought. So I never watched a video from Brian Johnson because, again, when I want to watch somebody that works out, I'm gonna watch Rich Piana or Sam Sulek. You don't need to be watching 12, 15. It was a good documentary. I forgot to say it was a good documentary. What experience to be having watched this? You don't need to be watching 15 content creator about weight loss. So the behind the scene of what's going on is Liver King was a guy that sold product and promised you result. He promised you to have this. He sold the 9 principle of primal living, which is living via olden days where human had to take care of day in, day out. You know, they had to take care of so many things. And they had a really hard life, but they had a perfect body. They had a perfect amount of fat. They were really in shape. So Brian is a guy that talks about how he was how not to start a video. So I never watched Liver King. However, there was a huge controversy because he did promise you you see, that's the thing. That's a very different thing. He promised you a sure way of losing some weight, of getting in shape, right? There's not a sure way. The sure way is sleep, eat, and it's funny because his son, which is Rad, I think it's like 16 years old, in the documentary say that. He say sleep well, eat well. That's it. He doesn't talk about product and shit like that. So you know, you saw the family, and it's cool because Brian, which is again Liver King, really involved his family, his wife, his 2 sons, himself. So we have the documentary. So my experience with Liver King, very little. I knew who he was, I knew what he was, but I didn't know much about him. I saw the rise of fame, but the rise of shame, which is when he got caught doing steroids. Now, I did talk about Brian Johnson a little bit before. The problem with Brian Johnson was he kept on lying that he didn't do steroids. So the first part of the documentary is talking about Brian. So how he didn't have a father growing up, how he was weak, how his kids were weak. So that I believe that his kids were weak and he went for something that wasn't transformed. He went for something that was very, very natural. And then because it's natural, the kids felt better. They had I think it's allergic reaction, to be honest. I don't think it was something in the DNA. I think it was allergic reaction with the oldest because they're different age. And then when the oldest was constantly sick, then they said, okay, well, we'll take care of this. And they didn't try with the youngest, right? I think it was an allergic reaction. So the Liver King documentary, we're talking about the rise of fame and how much of a star he really was and how loved he was. Talking about how he was put on the map because of the Impulsive podcast. And how he built a business. We see the business, and that's what I love. He had a rise of fame. We have the business aspect of it. So company behind. We have a CEO of a company of nutriment to say, hey, we support him, right? We saw how this guy, and this is the craziest part about the documentary. So the documentary, to me, the Brian thing was boring. So my main problem with Brian is I understand where you're coming from. The growing up with no dads, and he grew up watching Rambo, watching Terminator with Arnold, and I kind of understand that. You understand? He was pushed to achieve a physique. He was watching Conan, and it's surprising because a lot of people they got into bodybuilding thanks to Conan. I guess Arnold was one of the first, if not the first, bodybuilder in theater. That was kind of nice to see that because this is something we heard about before. I don't remember who it was. I think it was. I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody that I heard that. A popular YouTuber, something like that. So then we get the whole Instagram and the clicks and the family. And you literally see him becoming this huge star and everybody loves him. and everybody has his back, like Logan Paul, multiple podcasts, right? And then of course what happened is we see the it's a good documentary for the wrong reason. We see the downfall, how we got exposed, right? And now everybody that used to support him spit in his face. So, for example, Logan Paul's like, yo, we love the channel, we love the Liver King. And then because of that's like, yo, you lied to my face. You fucking knew, dude, right? So then, what's annoying about the documentary is, at first, it's a really good documentary. It's really, really good. Because it is the beginning, it is the behind the scene, it is how everything happened, which is really good. Now, after that, what happened is it does feel like a protective piece on Liver King, a redemption piece of, oh, I fucked up and I want to be good, right? The problem with Brian, my biggest problem is I don't mind a liar. I do not mind a liar. Saying that, see, the problem with Brian is, yes, he's a liar. Why I'm saying I don't mind a liar is because yes, he sold you the product and it's like, yo, if you think this is going to be helping you a lot. Why don't I mind this lie? Because you constantly saw Brian working out on TikTok Live, on Instagram Live. You always saw him working out. So we got this sausage, which is really good. So I really do feel that yes, I'm selling you products and they help you, but I'm also showing you that I'm working out and how much I'm working out. So it is a lie, but it's not a big lie. So for example, right? I'm selling you an apple, right? And I'm telling you this is a very good apple, and I'm selling it to you for a bit more than a normal apple, right? And I'm selling you the apple. I'm like, dude, this is the best apple you've ever had, right? But then in the same store, there's other apples that are less expensive. You chose to buy the expensive apple. This is your choice. It's not my fault. So I don't have a problem with that. Now, the manipulation, that really bugged me. Brian was manipulating people, saying, hey, I was self-conscious. I did it for that. That's why I lied. Okay, I lied. I'm honest about it. He did apologize for it, which I applaud. But Charlie Penguin said it best, and they show it on the documentary. It feels like an apology because you got caught, not an apology because I was sincere. So this is what you're seeing, right? Next on the list. Documentary was really good. The Brian Johnson thing, again, it was boring because and I'm not trying to diss people that did the documentary. It's such a viewed concept. There's a lot of people on YouTube that did documentary on the guy already, and they're possibly better done or more accurate. See, nobody talks, well, a lot of people talk about Liver King as much, but it's not in its prime. It's not primal anymore. The problem with the documentary is that we focus on the wrong thing. So the focus of the documentary is not Liver King. There's a way better focus than that. The interesting part of the documentary is how much we took a guy, and it's so cool because they show failed take. We took a guy and they showed one of his first video, and the guy was shy. Brian was shy. Didn't know how to talk to the camera. Didn't know how to sell shit. The dude was shy. He couldn't sell for shit. And then you know what we did? We said, you know what? We're gonna help you sell shit. We're gonna help you sell A, B, and C. And then we're gonna make a marketing campaign. And there's company behind it. And we took a guy and his ID and we made it a superstar. Now, you wanna know the truth? Do I think Brian Johnson is guilty of scamming his fan? No. Why? Because you put a guy that was following a principle, right? Now you made him a superstar. If you made a wrong person superstar, for example, I love Sam Sulek. Sam Sulek basically took one sponsorship, and it was for a protein company, right? Which is a product that he used. And to me, it's insane because you took a guy and you made him a business. Yes, Brian lied, but we gave him the tool to lie. See, I can scream at people and scream lies and say, hey, the end of the world is coming. If nobody's listening, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? You gave him a platform. You boosted the platform. Company made sure that he had the platform and he was the loudest. It's not about how loud you are, but your reach. I can be the loudest. If I don't reach anybody, who cares? I can whisper, but if 20 people hear it, it still matter. So you took a guy, and you start using him. It's complex because I don't think they're using him. I think there's a, you know, um, yeah, there is this mentality of there was so you see Brian made millions thanks to the scam, but he also made other company millions, and Brian was merely, and I'm sorry to say, but he was merely a mascot. He was a loud guy with fucking muscle. The concept was him, but he wasn't in charge. Company was in charge. Company manages social media. They can manage everything, and I think those people should be held in charge too. It's one thing to crucify the mascot. It's another thing to crucify the system. When you have a mascot, which is Brian Johnson, promoting a system, who is the guilty part? Is it the mascot or the system? It is a system. The mascot is promoting wrong ID, but it's a system at the same time. Now, what is really sad is you saw his kid and now they're talking. It's a bit of a cult. They were talking about the raw. See, and that's for every single YouTuber. We talked with the 8 passenger how there was some abuse. We saw it with a lot of family channel how there was some abuse, right? Family of 5 fucking assholes. Father of 5, daddy of 5. I'm sorry. There's a lot of abuse, and you can directly see the impact that it has on the kid's life, right? Even the name, fucking Striker and Radical, fucked up names, right? But yeah, so the documentary was good, but I think it exposed the system. It exposed a system where we're able to manufacture a celebrity. We're able to manufacture that people will see your video. We're able to manufacture that you'll be able to sell the product. The more reach you have, the more product you can sell, and we can take care of the reach. We can control the reach, right? That is pretty much it. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Night quick. I'm so tired. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the show. Guys are doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on the 16th May 2025. You can tell we're doing a lot better. So with doing better equates content. We're gonna be doing a quick video because your boy is on a schedule. So without further ado, as they say in multiple language, but the most beautiful of them all, which is French. I know, a lot of people get mad, but I don't care. I'm going to be doing a review on Season 2 of Trailer Park Boy. Yes, one of my favorite show, if not my favorite show, you know. So before we even start, I have to check out the name of the episode. That's going to help me out a lot. That does help me a lot. This is how I do it. This is how I do it. I know the show by heart, so even with only the name of the episode, I'll be doing more than good to tell you. So to me, I forgot just how good Season 2 is. But Season 2 is such a different experience than Season 1. And it's crazy how fast it is a different experience. This is insane. Because in the first season, like I told you, it's mockumentary. The Season 2 almost right away feel like a comedy. It is one of my favorite seasons. It is so good. There's so much introduced. What I love about Season 2 is they're unapologetic. They present you with characters like Ray. Ray takes a bigger place. Sarah, who I forgot how little she had to do in Season 1. Season 2, she is one of the main characters. And I'm gonna be saying something. People are not gonna be happy about this. We're filming DNA Chicorn. But Season 2 Sarah is peak Sarah. It's prime Sarah. She is gorgeous, but it's also the fact that she's with Ricky. Lucy and Ricky are amazing, but it gets old really quick. It gets annoying really quick. For some reason, Sarah and Ricky really feels genuine, really feels organic, really feels like, yo, they belong together, right? So that's what I love. I love that we get to see Ray. J-Rock also have a way more important role. Bubbles also have a way more important role. So what I love about Season 2 is they're unapologetic and saying, you met those characters in Season 1, and if you don't remember who they are, that's your fault. So Season 2 also have so many fucking meme. We have the bubble, like I found this cat in a storm drain. That's a nice looking cat. The Bubble Pimp, one of the funniest episodes ever made. J-Rock starting to say gnome instead of no, I'm saying it's gnome saying. It is so freaking good. Easily one of the top episodes, one of the top season as a whole. There's also, and please, I'm gonna be doing something controversial today. I'm gonna be referring to Elliot Page, which is a he, as Ellen Page as a her. So Elliot Page is a Canadian actor. You might have seen him in Inception. You might have seen him in Juno. Super funny, but I know him as Trin or Trinity, which is the daughter of Jim Leahy. It's not a real daughter. They're not related. But even in Season 2, also you have this old plot. So Season 1, what happened is it's really tough because Season 1 is you have this whole season about one specific subject. This is the first time we're having specific episode and then some. So for example, the growing wheat, right? So Season 2, I just love Season 2. It is the golden part. You forget how good non-important moment feels. Like, for example, and I'm sorry to say, but the whole relationship of Trin and Ricky has nothing to do with the story. It has nothing to do with story. And the reason they give you for this relationship is like, well, you know, I miss my daughter because Ricky is a good father. And when I'm with you, Trin, I think about my daughter. So we got Season 2, Episode 1, What Happened to My Park. So Ricky and Julian goes to jail. That was the great thing about early season of Trailer Park Boy. So season goes on, they end, they go to jail, then they have to restart from zero. What Happened to My Park is Ricky leaving And this is really cool because you can kind of see like a butterfly effect. You really want to dive in. Butterfly effect, super cool. So the first thing that you're seeing is we have, for example, we have Ricky left, and because Ricky left, the park was doing okay. Because the park was doing okay, Jim Leahy thought he was in control. Because Jim Leahy thought he was in control, when Randy came to see him and say, hey, can I be assistant supervisor? He was like, no, I got this under control. Then the fact that Ricky left made Lucy single, and Lucy would go after Julian, but Julian is also in jail. So the third choice is Randy. We have Bubble, which is there, which I fucking love. Because Bubble, even in season 2, you can kind of see that Bubble is such a complex character. So he is beloved. The relationship between him and Leahy is amazing. You still call Leahy Mr. Leahy, which is an honorific term. You respect Mr. Leahy. But also when the guys get arrested, Leahy, the first thing he says, the first thing he says, the guy in the glasses is with me. Bubbles is with me to protect Bubbles. He doesn't give a fuck about Julian and Ricky, which is normal because those guys are criminal. But they're saying like, yo, the glasses guy is with me. So we have now it's been a while, so I'm gonna have to check. Après, c'est more. Okay, so the first thing is they're like, yo, they found a plan. Dude, I watched this yesterday and I already forgot. That's just a shame. So we're seeing then, and the first episode, the nicest thing is Sarah's like, yo, Lucy kind of fucked you over, right? And because he felt bad, and then Sarah and Ricky gets together. Now Sarah and Ricky had experience when they were younger. They already fucked, but I really like this couple. So in the first episode, they're like, yo, the park went to shit. He's like, yo, what happened to the park? I need to start selling drugs, which is growing dope. They found a system where they could sell it to inmates, which is the best place, and it would come from the guardian, the prison guard. So since the prison guard are involved, there's no risk and it's higher pay. So that's really cool. You're seeing the way they're seeing Bubbles. They miss Bubbles, so this is the first time we're seeing. And the craziest thing is Bubble is also very different because they get out of jail and like, yo, we have to start stealing some shit. And then the first reaction of Bubble is like, yo, you've been out of jail for a couple minutes and then you're already talking about committing crime. So episode number 1 is a lot of story building. So in a show where the plot isn't super important, having a certain plot is important. For example, Julian loses everything, and the funniest part is he started to get money to get car stereos, and he sells them to J-Rock. Now, J-Rock and Bubble is a weird experience. So J-Rock and Bubbles, whenever you look at the behind the scene, whenever you look at the deleted scene, they're very close. They're very close. We never see that on camera. We see it a bit of season 2, but not that much. So he tells Julian, this is my MVP moment of episode 1. He tells Julian, it's like, yo, I cannot buy those serum because somebody's gonna take them, and then Julian doesn't understand. And J-Rock's like, yo, T, translate for me. Tyrone is best friend. And then Tyrone's like, yeah, no, you lost me. And it's Bubble. It's Bubble that translates. So that is super fucking cool. I love that. We also have the introduction of Trinity, season episode number 2. Julian and Ricky have to make sure. Good. So you can see that the park went to shit, and you can see how much they're drunk. There's a couple of episodes in episode 1 where there's a couple of episodes where you see how much Jim has fallen into alcoholism. He's drinking constantly. People are mad at him, so they have this election. And this election, which is really cool, is you have the direct cosm of effect of season 1. Because Sam fixed Ricky got inspected in jail. They discovered that he had bullet wounds. They're like, yo, who helped you? And then he snitched on Sam. And then because of that, Sam loses practice, he loses everything, which means that he is looking for something, which implies him in the story, which is really cool. They have this, oh man, what a good show. They have this whole episode about Sarah and Ricky were trying to get together because Sarah had the back of Ricky, and admittedly the way to get together is a bit sus because you don't expect them to be together, but they have such chemistry on the screen. I would have liked to see that for sure. Fun fact, Sarah Dunsworth is the daughter of Jim Leahy, who is John Dunsworth, right? Fun fact: a lot of people they don't know that. But by the way, I forgot to say that yesterday. R.I.P. John Dunsworth. R.I.P. Philadelphia Collins. Yeah. R.I.P. What's her name? I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. Fuck. So now we have an election, and it is the election is basically Sam Lasco wants to be elected. Now the cool part about this episode is the fact that Julian wants to help Jim Leahy, and it's kind of funny because in this episode, Jim tells Randy, "Yo, I like you, I love you. You're gonna have the park. I can be the park supervisor." He breaks Randy and Lucy up. Now, the breakup with Lucy and Randy could have been much more effective if Ricky started to date Sarah, and then he was like, "Yo, Lucy wants to get with me," but it didn't do that, right? However, what is really cool is you see in the next episode, Randy becomes the trailer park supervisor in the weekend, and when Julian and Ricky comes to congratulate him, like you guys don't care, but Jim still believe in them. So that's the greatness of Jim. And I gotta say, the episode itself is a little bit boring because the whole time it's about fucking over Sam Lasco. Now, the greatest thing about episode number 2 is that Sam actually goes after the boys, say, "Yo, you fucked me over, so I'm gonna fuck you over again." And it's all thing that we saw. And if you look at season 1, you don't think that it's gonna fuck over. You don't remember that. So it's not like, oh, you have a vendetta for no reason. No, we know the reason. So they give Sam some mushrooms, but and it's super funny. It is super funny because they give Sam some mushroom and kind of have a speech, and then you have Jim Leahy who plays the drunken. And by the way, he was never drunk on set. That was in the behind the scenes, so he's just a good actor. And he gives you a speech, and that speech will give you shiver. Great acting. There's also the beginning. This is the introduction of Steve Roger, which is the celebrity of Saturday Night. He's the celebrity. He's not a celebrity, but it's like the local news host, and he's a celebrity in the world without celebrities. You have episode number 3. I know cats and dogs that are smarter than Corey and Trevor. Now this episode is kind of bittersweet when you know what happened to Corey and Trevor. Corey and Trevor are like the punching bag of everybody on the show. They left the show. Corey came back and was like, "Yo," and they really treated Corey back. When he came back, he was really treated well. The whole story about Trevor and Corey is they were treated the same behind the scene as in the front of the scene. So kind of like reject, kind of like second class, right? So this whole episode is J-Rock. Julian's trying to make some money to get some equipment, and it's super good because they create a bar. And then they steal equipment, and it's just such a cool thing because you got Ricky who's in charge of Trevor and Corey, and you can kind of see the quote unquote hierarchy of the park. Julian at the top, Ricky at the bottom, then Trevor and Corey at the bottom. We don't even see Bubble there. So they steal. The funny thing about the show is that they went to give out. Trevor and Corey went to give out some pamphlet to invite people to the park. Oh. The phone closed because it's too hot. It's okay. It is more than okay. 70% shit. What I'm gonna do? I don't know how I'm gonna do it. We'll find a way. We will find a way. And they go to a gay bar. They go to a gay bar, and they give out some pamphlet, and it's only gay dudes, which is super funny. Once again, Tripper Boy being ahead of the time for the gay community. So that's super cool. A dope caravan is in place for Kitty. This is one of the Saturday episodes of the season 2, but it's a really good episode. So you got Ricky, and I gotta say, I don't talk about Ricky a lot. I don't talk about the characters a lot, but there's so much behind the scene that I have to talk about. So for example, the fact that Ricky misses his daughter and he gets closer to Trina, the fact that he falls in love with Sarah. Surprisingly enough, I would say that season 2 is about Ricky, because he meets Sarah and he has a good relationship. And even when he goes back to Lucy, he's like, "Yo, I'm really happy with Sarah. I'm really happy with her. I don't want to go back to you." But then he ends up in jail, and because he ends up in jail, he ends up being with Lucy when they come back. So we get more sort of information about Bubbles, how he didn't have any parents, how his cats were sick because of Sam Lusco. So Sam, the craziest thing is, they introduce him as you owe me something, right? And then it's so well made. So the first time that we see Sam is like, yo, you fucked me over, I'm gonna fuck you over. Then he cooks some hot dogs, which is stupid, but he made some. Doesn't respect the park. He puts his garbage everywhere, and the cats are getting in there. And then he's a threat to Bubbles, right? And then you don't fuck with Bubble because then you fuck with Ricky and Julian, right? So it sucks. They have this. They use Bubble shed to grow dope. There is a wrong. There is a wrong connection, I guess, and then the whole trailer burned down, which is Bubble trailer, and he burned down a bubble machine, which is where you got the name Bubbles, which is a shame. There's a really sweet moment with Trina, which gives him a bubble maker, like a little cheap one. You really like it. Yeah, and it is just burned it. Once again, it's Ricky that burns it, but he blames Corey and Trevor, which is, and then even Bubble knows that's Ricky. So then Bubble gets into a fight with those two, and then it's important because this is the only time that Bubble fight with them. Bubble will fight with Julian a lot, but that's just part of the characters if they all would get back. This is the very first time where the three guys are separated, and this is possibly the very last time where they're separated. So we have Trin, and you know what? Trin, which is the daughter of Jim Leahy, you think that she just want to follow Ricky because he's the cool one, but then you realize just how shitty it is. And there's moments of the show that I don't remember, but I saw today and I was like, holy shit. And it's fucking beautiful. Like, Jim doesn't treat his daughter well. He focuses on Randy. He's not a drunk idiot, but he doesn't focus on Trinity. And even his mom, her mom is flirting with Sam. Jim is flirting with Randy. So everybody kind of forgets about Trinity. And then the best part about it is right away the relationship between Trinity and Ricky is toxic. Trinity is kind. Ricky kind of take advantage of the kindness, but not in a bad way. So just like, yo, when you want to help me out, okay, I'll let you help me out. When you shouldn't ask a kid that. However, he comes to defend her. So Ricky feels bad about himself. He feels like a loser. The main subject of Ricky in this season is he feels like he's lesser than Julian. That's something that really bugs him. So he wants to get his grade 10, which he gets at the end. Congratulations, Ricky. And then what ended up happening is Trinity is the one behind him. So they spend a lot of time together. And I think the fact that Ricky's a student also brings them closer. But then Leahy is like, yo, get away from my daughter. And then Ricky gives him shit. He's like, you're a shitty father. Try to take care of your daughter. She's always grounded for some fucking stupid reason. And he actually defends Trinity. And I don't remember that. I do not remember that, which is crazy. Wait a second, Trina, the daughter of Ricky, is also Trinity. I never even realized that. Holy shit, I'm not a real fan. Episode number 5, Bible Pimp. I fucking love this episode. This episode is easily my favorite, so we get a lot more of Ray. I gotta say, Ray, as a kid, I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all. I thought he was boring. I thought I had a wrong opinion on Ray because Ray was behind the show. He was the director of the show. And Ray, when he saw that the show was getting more and more popular, he took a more and more leading role. So I think it felt like, oh, I'm the director, but I also play in it, and I'm going to write down a role where I am. But as I grew up, he's like the only father figure for the boys. He took care of Bubble, he took care of Ricky. Even the kind of rivalry between Julian and Ray is because, so Julian believed that Ray fucked Ricky up, but then Ray did the best thing that he could. Ray took care of his kid, being a drunk and a druggie, even though the mom of Ricky wasn't there, so he did his best, right? And Julian's like, fuck you, didn't do good enough. And Ray's like, who are to tell me I'm not good enough? I did what I did, and then look at Ricky. Ricky is pretty good. And Ricky can call him a lot of things, but he's a good father. And he learned being a good father from Ray. So you see more of that. So the Bible Pimp is, there's a guy who sells Bible. Why is this episode so important is because we kind of get Ricky and Julian are very similar. They're both looking for a relationship. So when the relationship happened, it's a really good thing because he find a Bible Pimp, which is a pimp and is whore. And Julian falls in love. And then Julian has a thing for stripper. He always had a thing for stripper. Who doesn't? And Ricky's like, yo, Sarah is a good girlfriend. And then that's when you say, I want to treat her right, which she deserves. And you know the craziest thing? There's always episode or speeches of Ricky saying, hey, I need to win Lucy back. But there's never one time where Ricky says to Lucy, I want to treat you good. But he said that about Sarah, which is crazy. So they go, and then Bubble is really mad. There's a beautiful communication between Bubbles and J-Rock, which is basically J-Rock hooking up Bubble with a caravan where he can sleep. It's really cool. And I feel bad because J-Rock is a really good friend to Bubble. Really, really good friend. However, he isn't Julian and Ricky, and Bubble prefer Ricky and Julian, yeah. So then what happened is he doesn't want nothing to do with them. Ricky apologized because he burned down his trailer, which is not cool. And then there's a Battle Pimp, and right away Bubble, he's like, yo, I don't trust him. And this is the very first thing we learned about Ray. Ray, he loves Ricky so much that he's drunk and he gets scammed for a Bible for $60, and then Bubble is the one to defend him, which I really enjoy. And then when Bubble defend Ray, the Bible Pimp, I don't know his fucking name, he's like, yo, is Bubble okay? And Ray's like, nah, Bubble is the smartest guy in the park, which I really enjoy because they have each other's back. I really like that. That being said, continuing, we have the Bible Pimp, which again he has his whore. They steal the weed, but there's so many. I'm so sorry. There's so many interesting moments. For example, Ricky talks about how Ray always taught him and Julian that to take a girl out, you need to take her to buffet, which is super funny. Julian really falls in love when he told Ricky, yo, focus on that, right? And it's just so fucking good. Such a good episode. And then at the very end, it is so funny because my favorite part of the show is, and this is all season, is how J-Rock defends Bubble. So Leahy's like, yo, Bubble. And Bubble's a bit weaker. Ricky can live in his car, there's no problem. Bubble lives in a caravan. It's like, nah, you can't. The best part about it is Bubble gets in trouble with Leahy, and J-Rock is defending him. It's like, yo, I'm going to be hooking up power. I'm going to be hooking up a water source, and this is going to be falling under a mobile home, which makes it an illegal place. So I really like that. I really, 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 really like that. At a Bible Pimp, once again, what is there to say about this episode? It's just greasy. Oh, by the way, it's the first time that Ricky and Julian and Leahy had a deal to make him a trailer park supervisor. So the Bible Pimp ended up scamming 38 people from the park. We don't know how many people are in the park. Are there 100? Are there 200? Are there 40? I don't know. So then Julian's like, yo, I need you, Leahy. So they work together, and Julian stops in a gangster way to get the money back at the Bible Pimp, and Leahy calls the cop because if Julian calls the cop, they won't come. That's pretty much it for Bible Pimp. Greatest episode of season 2. Episode 6. Oh, this is so good. Episode 6. Such a good episode. Holy shit. Episode 6, Never Trust a Man with his shirt off. So the episode is basically Randy and Leahy pretending that they're having a fight. That way, Randy can infiltrate the boys. Now, there is a lot of lore from this episode, which is like kind of interesting. Randy is the same age as the boys, so when they were a kid, they would play together. Randy is from the park. So what happened is Randy got from the park, and then he moved with his grandma, so he left the park, and then he came back. It's so cool. We have the meme where Ricky calls jalapeno. So we have the whole thing. Randy's like, yo, me and Mr. Leahy, we're done. Please, can I be your friend? And he buys our affection. So the guy says yes. And it's really cool because we like Randy. So Trailer Park Boys, they had this really big problem. They really, really big problem. So they always had the same two villains, which is Cyrus and Leahy. Leahy died after season 10. Yeah. So then Randy was a good character. So in real life, Randy, which is Pat Roach, I know all of the behind the scene of Trailer Park Boys, so I'm the guy to tell you. Randy, Pat Roach, was really, really, really close to the boys. Really close. So they're always saying like there's 4 member of the boys. The fourth unofficial member is Pat Roach. The funny thing is, people will say J-Rock. J-Rock was also super involved. However, when Trailer Park Boy ended, J-Rock went to do some other thing. He went to do Mr. D, where he is a principal. He went to do some other project, right? And he was very successful. Pat Roach was always behind the boys, and when they created SwearNets, which is their company, when they took... Okay, so the problem with Trailer Park Boys was they were swearing a lot, right? Now, with the swearing, you can't swear on cable. So they bought SwearNets to make it a internet company, and then they could produce Trailer Park Boy with swear because it was an internet company. Trying to get this because this is so delicious, but the metal thing is gonna fuck me in my teeth. I don't want to fuck my teeth. So yeah, so long story short, Randy goes in and he tells them, and then it's funny because he ended up betraying the guys, and the only one that didn't believe him was Julian. And the funniest thing about that was that Julian said never trust a man with no shirt off. And in season 3, Ricky, at a scene with Leahy, becomes a guy with no shirt off. I'll tell you guys tomorrow when we see season 3. And then when Ricky doesn't have a shirt off, and he becomes kind of the enemy of the boys because he wants to have a job, and he becomes kind of a friend with Leahy for a job. And Bubbles like, can we trust Ricky? And then Julian says never trust a man with no shirt off. That's really, really, really cool. Now, what ended up happening is a lot more of Trin, and that sucks because Trinity, Julian's kind of right. Julian says the more we keep Trinity around, the more Leahy's gonna come because he has emotional attachment to her. He doesn't care about you, doesn't care about me, but he cares about her. And then Ricky has to tell Trinity like, yo, it sucks. That's really sad. Ricky has to tell Trinity like, yo, I can't hang out with you. And Trinity gets him a shirt. She really likes Ricky as an older brother. And in this episode, she tells Julian, it's like, yo, I don't know what to do. My life is kind of shitty. Jim is with Leahy and my mom is with Sam. My life is kind of shitty. Nobody cares about me. And it sucks. It really sucks. Now, technically speaking, I have a scoop for you guys. So the reason as to why, this is a cool scoop. The reason as to why Trina was introduced was Trinity mom wanted her daughter to be an actress. So Trinity started playing, her first role ever was in Trailer Park Boys. Now the mom watched her show and she didn't like the show. She's like, no, my daughter's not going to partake in that. And that's why they had Trina. Yeah. And then Trinity come back and she's in She come back. So the cool thing is, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so never trust a man with no shirt off. What ended up happening is they grow the dope and they're finding the dope and like, yo, they changed the avenue, which is really cool. And once again, is how small Leahy has power because they think he's drunk. This is really cool. Then we got, I'm gonna talk about episode number 7, which is the last one. The Bear Pimp Project. So basically what happened is Sam asked Barbara, and again, this is by... I did watch it yesterday, but this is not... I just didn't watch it. So this is really precise for the guy that's not too sure about what he's talking about. So Sam wants to marry Barbara, which is the ex-wife of Leahy. If he marries Barbara, then he becomes the new Trailer Park supervisor. If he becomes the new Trailer Park supervisor, you will be able to kick the boys out of the park. They want to be in the park. So they ended up fucking him over and making him cheat on... They making him cheat on the... stuff. They're making him cheat on Barbara, right? To get it. It's super funny. Is the classical meme of Bubbles and the Blair Witch Project. I've never been so frisky in my life. We have J-Rock making a porn film, and then when Julian tells him the budget is like, I don't remember if it's $80 or $800, and it's like, yo, this is a pro production. I fucking love this. But the most important part of this episode is the fact that we have Lucy coming back. And my experience with Lucy is so done because Lucy ended up being a very bad person after the show. So there was this whole Me Too movement, and Lucy was the one that says that multiple artists kind of R-word her. Now the reality is not true. She was lying. She was lying to get publicity. Because she wanted to be an actress, and Trailer Park Boys was the only place she ever got a job. She even accused Bubble, and that sucks. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot pretend that somebody raped you. That's not okay. So you have the return of Cyrus, which is a fight. The other return of Freaking, it's so good. So you got Ricky is taking his grade 10, which he passes. You got a lot more relationship between Sarah and Ricky, which we love, and it's so cool because you're seeing Bubbles, and this is why I love Trailer Park Boys. You see Bubble, Ray, and Sarah being there for Ricky, and you don't see Julian as kind of like, ugh, you know, why Julian? But then what ended up happening, which is really good, is that he passed a test, and because he passed a test, he fights with Cyrus. Cyrus fights with him because Ricky smokes, Cyrus snitch. Ricky snitched back, which is kind of allowed. When somebody snitch, you can snitch. Snitches get stitches, but only the first snitches get stitches. So then he finds out Lucy, and Lucy right away she's like, "Yo, I want to get back with you." And then Ricky's like, "No, I'm good with Sarah." And I would have loved to get more of Ricky and Sarah. At the end, we have Julian, who ended up selling all the dope the same morning. We have a super cool Trina moments where she makes fun of Randy. Fuck, I love this. And to finish with this whole video, because it's already 30 minutes, holy shit. It's just a great season. So season 2, baby. In the wraps. Tomorrow we'll do season 3. Holy macaroni. 11%. What the fuck? Ah. Good. Miley smile over rainbow.